Yes, my people, welcome in. As you see on the screen, it's Dancehall War. Yes, we're in the holiday season, but it's also war season within the dancehall. And before I even go any further, I just want to take this time to wish everybody a blessed, happy, joyous, safe, and prosperous holiday season. And 2026 coming in. Do not forget those who are still recovering and devastated by the path of Hurricane Melissa that passed through early in the year, as the recovery process continues for many, not only in Jamaica, Haiti as well, and the other countries. Cuba got hit, but of course Jamaica was the most devastated, and we're just getting reports that power just reached back certain areas and certain people, and there are still needs for resources, including medicine, clean water, clothing. So make sure you keep those people in your thoughts, your prayers, and also your giving, as well, as everything counts, and it's still a long process, still recovery from that disaster. But moving along, we are here, as I said, to discuss war. Enough things transpired. Dancehall in 2025. Did social media ruin Clash? We're gonna tackle that. We're gonna go back in history just a bit, and we're gonna touch on some subjects. At certain points, of course, I may be disagreeable, but my objective here and in discussing this as an ardent lover of music first is music, and I hope to be as objective as possible. I'm sure parties will not agree with every comment I make or every point that's made in this video, but at the same time, I'm just gonna try my best to split justice down the middle. So we had a very eventful year in 2025, and I asked the question at the beginning, was dancehall back with the return of Vybz Kartel? And of course, the lineup of shows that were announced at the beginning of the year, and the excitement, the hype around the return of Vybz Kartel in live performance, as he returned to Jamaica for Sumfest. Of course, he did several shows back to back, filling out Barclays Stadium, and showed and proved even throughout the islands. I believe it was St. Kitts and maybe St. Vincent as well, I'm not sure, but he had a stretch in which he missed a show in Trinidad, but Vybz Kartel proved that yes, he can draw the crowd. Now there's questions. Of course, Vybz Kartel is never a very strong stage performer, and would that be an issue with his return to the stage? As we know, Vybz Kartel isn't back to 100% health, trying to get his breath back and his voice back and just his overall health, as it was made public that he suffers from Graves' disease even prior to his release from prison. So it was very interesting this year to see Vybz Kartel return triumphantly, as of course his fan base is steadfast and loyal, and they came out. The show in Jamaica, the first show in the National Arena, there were some questions. They said it was a sold out show. However, there were many reports that there were plenty of free tickets issued prior to the show, and that also that all sections weren't used within the stadium, which made the show appear to be full to capacity. Nonetheless, successful show, and right across the board, Vybz Kartel has performed successfully for his crowd. In England, there was some sort of itch within the stage performance and some critiques, negative critiques. And of course, as I said, Vybz Kartel is never known from day one as a elite stage performer. He can hold his own, and of course his song catalog is so deep that when he touched the stage and certain songs draw, crowd have a bus instant forward. We know that, so that is without question. Also within resurgence, quote unquote resurgence of dancehall, we saw that this year dancehall can compete with Afrobeat, as we know that Afrobeat was dominating the space, the Caribbean music genre space for a couple of years strong. And this year we saw, I can't speak in terms of numbers, and that's not what I'm here for really, is not to get into quantifying chart ratings or chart standings and sales numbers and all of that. Right now I'm just talking vibes and what the streets I deal with, what the internet I deal with, you see me, and just basic music, overall music, you see me. So we're gonna leave numbers, charts alone and sales alone, though they will be referenced, because we can't turn a blind eye to data. Data is a thing that it's numbers don't lie, people lie, we know that. So we're not going to completely ignore and disregard sales, sellout shows. These are all numbers that matter, especially in the space of those who are promoters and those who are managers and those who are more on the business end. But I like to focus on the fan end, where there is more focus on creativity and more substance and more talk generated by the art itself, and not just the music and the business side of the music, you see me. So that's my thing, and that's what I care to focus on. I'm moving forward. We saw great attendance at these shows right across the board. The Sumfest, the Vibes Cartel shows, big up CJ Milan on doing some excellent productions at UBS. We saw Beanie Man come out in Long Island and deliver, obviously, a great performance, because that is Beanie Man's trademark performance, and giving crowd of people what they pay for when they come to a stage show, which is excitement, energy, delivering the catalog on time with the band, you see me. All of these things go into the pot when discussing an elite artist, which Beanie Man is. And we're going to speak on Beanie Man as a little bit more in depth, because Beanie Man is part of the root of where we are right now with dancehall and clash and the current quote-unquote king of dancehall. And I say quote-unquote king of dancehall because people still have in question whether Vibes Cartel is really the king of dancehall. And in my estimation, Vibes Cartel has a very strong point, a very, very strong, what's the word I want to use right now? They have a very strong argument for why him can claim king. But at the same time, if we're looking at it objectively, fans and lovers of dancehall can say Vibes Cartel really does not have a strong claim or a strong argument as to why he would be the king of dancehall. And here's why. Because, of course, it was in question before the prior king, or some would say reigning king, Beanie Man, his kingship, when he at first claimed king from Yellow Man. We have to big up the original king of dancehall, which is Yellow Man. And for those who don't know, that is the first dancehall artist to sign to a major recording label, and I think either 1979 or 1980. Don't quote me on that. Of course, you can Google and do your own research. But he was signed to Columbia Records in the early 80s or late 70s, and the first international superstar in the dancehall, in which, and this is the most important part that people should take into consideration, the people crown Yellow Man king. Yellow Man never get up and say, yo, you know, so me are the king of dancehall, me I claim king. He never did that. people came together and as a consensus within the dancehall crown Yellowman King. And that is why to this day some people say Beenie Man is never king of the dancehall. But nonetheless, Beenie Man has put in the work from the 80s when he initially bust as a youth, and really the real boss, because of course let's not forget the fight, the struggle Beenie Man had. Beenie Man came on as a youngster, yes, and Beenie Man endured a lot of boos, a lot of setbacks before he got his real boss in the early 90s. And then of course that came with a challenge, as of course we had none other than the warlord himself, Bounty Killer, there to defend the dancehall space as the new Clash Titan, you know, the new warlord, the new sensation as far as Clash. Of course we had Super Cat and Ninja Man in the space, but dancehall was changing in the 90s, and in comes Bounty Killer, and of course they went to war, and Bounty Killer never dispute Beenie Man as king of dancehall, as much as they had their feud for years and years on, and disagreements. To this day I have not heard Bounty Killer say Beenie Man is not the king of dancehall, and the consensus has been that Beenie Man is the king of dancehall. Why? Because in dominate the space, he's won a Grammy Award, he's dominated the international space, dominated the local space, has a catalog miles long of hit songs. If you want go gun songs, if you want go girl songs, if you want go dancing, any subject matter, Beenie Man have it. Beenie Man have conscious songs. There's no particular venue in which Beenie Man does not have a song that cannot play in that particular space. Beenie Man has gotten commercial success. Girls Them Sugar with Maya is still a big song. It's still a song you'll hear in rotation on commercial radio to this day. So we can't deny Beenie Man's kingship and his reign. At the same time, Beenie Man reach a stage where him kind of get stagnant, because we can't say that Beenie Man has the same impact, and Beenie Man a shock the same way he was shocking 94, 2004. You know, Beenie Man thing has kind of, I mean, I don't want to discredit none of the legends, but we all know that music has a time and a space. Even though certain music is timeless, that's why we have legends, we have classic songs, hit songs, right? But at the same time, artists and music have an expiration date. You won't be at the top of the charts forever. You won't dominate dancehall forever. See, you gotta have that time when every selector have to play a song, and then you gotta have that time there where a new artist take over, new sounds come in, the production styles change, and you have new artists, a demand for new artists. So and that is perhaps what is happening. So in some cases, the Vibes Cartel right now, as new artists are come up. And going back to that, when I rush this thing, we're gonna take our time and unpack this thing real neatly, real slowly. Alright? In Vibes Cartel's reign as a top artist, remember, just Beenie Man took his crown from Ninja Man. Vibes Cartel came up, asserted himself as a top artist, and the next thing he did was seclude himself from the rest of the artists in dancehall. How did he do that? By, of course, conflict, confrontation, clash. First thing, and this the warlord, the man where bring him in the business on a higher level. Right? This the whole alliance. Bling Dog went on trouble nobody. Never hear Bling Dog in a confrontation yet. See? Bling Dog get this, Wayne Marshall get this, them youth they are not clash artists. And down the line, Busy Signal and so forth. Mavado get this. And subsequently, a war ensued between Gully and Gaza. The infamous Gully versus Gaza war. But side note, as I mentioned, Busy Signal made a very, very wise decision, because instead of focusing on war and this up cartel, he focused on being an international artist, not just a local DJ, but an international artist. And this is why to this day Busy Signal can be found in various parts of the world performing in 2025 with a very, very strong catalog of hits. You see me? But that was just a side note and a very interesting observation I made while just going back and reviewing history and the history of this war and dancehall history itself. Recent history, I would say. See? But anyway, as Cartel I move up the line, building his catalog with hits in the early 2000s, right? He would then buck up Ninja Man, which you know Ninja Man is a legend, an icon in a dancehall. And Ninja Man's supposed to hold a certain level of respect. Regardless of how we feel about Ninja Man in his personal life, Ninja Man is still a dancehall stalwart, a dancehall pillar. You see me? Can't go around that. Anybody try to go around that must say mad junk, high off of some substance. You see me? And what happened? Sting, we all know. Vybz Kartel, this Ninja Man prior, and the opportunity was there for Vybz Kartel to somewhat show the world that he is the new top shotter as far as clash and as far as lyrical artists in a dancehall, and nothing more happened than fight broke, Ninja Man get kicked down and Sting mash up. And people, let me tell you something. I recall watching that Sting. Of course, at that time we were working with DVD, and I wasn't in Jamaica or at Jam World to see Sting live. But when that DVD reached back and I watch it, I did in a shop that my brethren at the time owned, and a couple of brethren did sit down and I watched the Sting. After I watched the Sting, I look on the man them and I tell them straight, dancehall just changed from this moment on. And the man them look upon me and say, "Chow, I eat that thing that just basically fan off my little talk or my observation." But what I was saying was the influence on what was to come in dancehall, because at that moment a precedent was set that, for one, we can bring the streets to dancehall. We can go in a clash at a major stage show that the world is watching and make it go from musical to a physical confrontation. And I was proven right, because the new crop of artists, them not have no respect. And it's the same thing. them start war musically, and then it leak over into the streets and become basically a channel to violence and things where have nothing to do with music. But nonetheless, no one stray too far off of the main topic, which is Vybz Kartel and his ascent as king, or to be king. And as we know, from let's say 2003 to 2000 and I would say 2000 and maybe 17, 18, and it's debatable. People can say I'm right or wrong. Vybz Kartel did dominate the dancehall space for the most part, even from behind bars. The accomplishments he made as far as his sales, and once again, not focusing primarily on sales, but even the impact. The man's songs never stopped playing in the streets, in the clubs, in the dance, while he was locked away for 13 years in prison, and we can't deny that. But whoops, before that, even before he got prison, he proclaimed himself the world boss. And of course, Gaza Nation and the world primarily ran with that. Yeah, he's the world boss. Dancehall's reigning international icon, right? Our highest reigning international icon. Probably next to Sean Paul and Shaggy, which, you know, they are in their own atmosphere, their own stratosphere by themselves. Most people who talk grassroots dancehall not gonna even put Shaggy and Sean Paul in the same sentence with a Vybz Kartel or a Beanie Man or a Bounty Killer, because 14 parish of Jamaica rate them different from how the world at large, you know, view them. So Vybz Kartel being that guy for the better of at least close to 20 years, from behind prison bars and outside in the free world, dominated the space of dancehall. But same time, we have this thing in dancehall where clash is essential, confrontation is essential, and it's not all about making our catalog of great songs, because we have plenty of talented artists who have had their time in which they put out consecutive hits on top of hits. We have those artists, and artists who still to this day can put out hits or songs that are still impactful in the dancehall space. You see me? The Bojos, the Spraggers, the Cabras, you know, and the list goes on and on and on and on. You know, even moving up to artists from the 2000 era. Idonia, yes, I have to mention Idonia, because Idonia was coming up in that early 2000s part. Enough people forget, say Idonia was at the top amongst those respected in the streets as a lyricist, bad lyrical artist. And what happened? A little feud or a little confrontation broke out, and we get a couple songs from Idonia dissing Vybz Kartel and so forth. And Vybz Kartel then took a page out of Busy Signals playbook, so to speak, and decided, well, I'm not going to focus on the girl them right now. See? You're not getting no clash song, you're not getting too much gun song. You'll get pure woman song and dance song, party song. That's it. And kind of seal off Idonia off from out of the clash. See? And also left dancehall in a space where we couldn't get to see the two best lyricists at the time compete, although Mavado was holding his own. And as I mentioned, Mavado was, of course, the nemesis of Vybz Kartel as far as in the Clash arena, because Mavado held his own. And we can't say Mavado lost the Clash. Now, people, of course, on the internet will talk, and of course, Gaza fans will talk that, oh, Mavado run and Mavado never win the Clash over Sting. But people who were there, people who were in attendance at the Clash, not people who were just talking and building narratives, and we're going to come on that, we're going to touch that topic in a second. But people who were actually there said that Mavado won the Clash. See? And as I said, even outside of the stage, Mavado held his own in the studio as well, because hit songs, people talk about hit songs coming out of Clash. The amount of hit songs Mavado get out of the Clash, same way Vybz Kartel. So really and truly, to this day, I really don't declare a particular winner of that Clash. Mavado was the underdog at the time because Gaza had so much momentum, and of course the narrative spill one stinky that Mavado ran from Vybz Kartel and lost the Clash. You know, we did see Mavado repeat lyrics and him stumble a couple of times. Well, yes, that is on footage, and of course people can see it on YouTube. It's documented. But talk to people who were in attendance and they will tell you that Mavado won the Clash. And next thing, where Vybz Kartel violate again, and people love it. It's very interesting. We always had some unwritten rules in a dancehall. Certain things we not support, we not deal with. You know, bad as certain artists may have been back in the days. You can see Supercat or after Buckle Fling or Sting. Supercat saying with Bossing Gun and Ray, you know. And he was eased off of the stage immediately. As that speech make the man them move him up off of the stage to prevent further confrontation. You see me? Next thing, we never support. Yo, I'm not saying that dancehall is a moral space even, because we know so dancehall well grimy. But yo, we always love mama, have certain reverence and appreciation for mama. Seeing? Kartel, I don't even want to repeat back what the man say. Him do Mavado mother. You know? And yes, even if you go and listen to the Clash, you will hear people booing. But the overwhelming majority of the people allowed that to slide, gave Vybz Kartel a pass. Seeing? Next big Lou when make another Clash there, and people overlook it. Seeing? Which could have really caused them to lose or just get disqualified immediately. Right? But moving further, we're dealing with Vybz Kartel and his kingship, and the fact that he didn't clash Idonia. He didn't beat Mavado on stage. Seeing? And we can't say him really have any opponent. Of course, him and Bounty have them go back and forth, but that never really materialized in a no big clash. Couple songs drop here and there, and then they move along. See? So we never get to really judge Vybz Kartel other than Mavado and Gaza. Fans will say to the end that they won that clash, but the truth is this: Vybz Kartel did not overwhelmingly defeat Mavado in that clash. And the further in my point, Vybz Kartel has not completely defeated any top lyrical opponent to say that he is the king, even in the sector of clash. And he also proclaimed himself the war angel. See? One of the many monikers he's carried over the years. But now we are dealing with King of Dancehall. And quite frankly, if Vybz Kartel think at 50, him just like a sit down on throne, and no youth now attack that, and now him not to defend that, he is very sadly mistaken. Very, very sadly mistaken. Because I know so dancehall work. And people, and as I said before, these new set of artists from Alkaline, Joshy, Valiant, you name TJs, all of them, they are spawns of Vybz Kartel. If you look deeply into all of these artists, they have some characteristic or some similarity to Vybz Kartel. So if you think so them are going to behave themselves and just bats back and watch Vybz Kartel reign as king of dancehall, and them not try climb up the ladder, and them not try challenge the king for the throne, it must be sick in his brain. See? So this whole idea where he might try to shove out right now, which now we're gonna move on to one of the strongest elements of Gaza and the Vybz Kartel brand, which is his media and his media associates via vloggers, DJs. Well, not for going at this party with deep passion. You know, this clash and this era of dancehall, this era of social media really teach me is that most people love man over music, and most people are attached to the individual, the person, the character, the image, more so than the art that comes from the individual behind the imagery, behind the persona. You see me? And that's off the Vybz Kartel, because in this era of dancehall where we have social media and vloggers, we never have social media so prevalent in the height of the Gully Gaza war. I think them time there MySpace still I use. MySpace around the place, and Facebook just a come in, and you just have your first wave of people getting into vlogging. So you never have the influence that you have today with people. And the first set never start with some little punk selector boy. Some look, I don't want to make this too derogatory, you know. But you see some of them selector boys, some of them laptop carriers, some boy will never create a record. Some boy will never enter a record shop yet and purchase a record. I come talk about, them a bench artists because what? Yo, since when DJ, I'm not talking about not DJ artists, I'm not talking about man who play music, will have the job to go out and represent music, start declare them are the bench artists because why? Then diss me artists, then diss me artists, and think they are idiot thing. And it's something to start in the Gully Gaza era, that clash era, where people start choose sides. See? And this thing spill over into the vlogging world and the social media world, where certain people, me, as a youth in high school, Bounty Killer and Beanie Man war was at its peak. See? I remember half of my brethren them must say Bounty and half of my brethren them must say Beanie. And we never fight yet. You know, we mock and jeer, you know. Fine, man I go cuss Bounty about whatever. And man I go find other things to cuss Beanie, and Ray will laugh about it. And if Beanie Man drop a bad song, even if we up on Bounty side, we say, boy, you know, say Beanie Man drop a bad song, you know. Bounty better rally up back and counteract this, because that's what dancehall is. attack and counteraction. Who's the fastest thinker? Who's the most creative thinker? Seeing? As well as artists who can deliver the best, who can get those thoughts and ideas, the creativity onto a track and make it resonate with the people the most. That's what dancehall at its core is about, at its essence. That's what the music is about. But nowadays you have some little punk, as me say, who I walk around with laptop and I talk about bench artists. Yo, play the music. Seeing? I'm gonna want to style up. No for no. But yo, my son and people are watching up. And so I don't want to promote violence, but I bet if we're still in the times where Guinness or Heineken back a great man where go low, certain things wouldn't have gone. Seeing? Man would not make certain speech. I just too know, there is no standard in the whole equation. People just feel say them can say and them can do anything. That's why them turn on them live and go up on TikTok and talk about of foolishness. Come on YouTube and any other platform and just stir up all kind of narratives. Seeing? To confuse the people. And most of it is just to get hits and likes and views, which then translates into revenues. Seeing? So at the end of the day, it's all about the dollar and hustling the business. For most of the DJ man them, seeing, we move like groupie. And next, the vloggers, seeing, see all one old boy with them have him as some musical, I don't know, some type of musical expert. Seeing? I hear him talk, I inject him opinions, and people, of course we're gonna talk and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But yo, people for know say when them talk, and especially when they have certain influence, them be very mindful of the things they put out in the public space. Seeing? The man I come talk about, that song by Sean Storm was so well put together. The way he put his similes and the song construction. Yo, cut the crap, y'all, man. Cut the crap. Seeing? Y'all try find ways to build narratives. Sean Storm got nothing more than a gimmick song that is going to play for a few weeks, days, maybe, and fade out. Remember Elephant Man song in the summer? Elephant Man get the biggest song in the summer. Pretty Girl. That's still clear? People still talk about that? No. And he used the word, he went, this so-called music expert, international music expert, went to you and as far as to use the word brilliant. The man I said itch patch, skit scratch. The only brilliance in that was the fact that he incorporated a dance to the song. The man himself said publicly in an interview, him no say him did in the studio just a chap pure foolishness, and him just happened to catch on to something. Hooray and kudos, very good. But we're talking about clash, and we have some big man that try interject clash will work in at this time in a 2025, and I want the youth them draw back in a whichever time they want to reflect back on. No side, now go work. We in a social media era. War I go fight different. Seeing? We have this thing called narratives, and as I mentioned, Vibes Cartel using the media as his personal PR team. Seeing? To build this narrative. Okay, the war starts. And boy, I'm not gonna tell no lie. Tommy Lee come in and him chop some, even though Tommy Lee is another gimmicks artist. Tommy Lee is not a lyricist. Okay? Tommy Lee use style. Tommy Lee used imagery. You have this whole gothic imagery, and he have his own sound, the high pitched sound, and some people draw into it, and he knows how to incorporate it into dancehall to make some catchy songs. And yes, he did that. And this Massacre, see, because Massacre now come out and claim crown, or he say he has an argument for crown, and so Tommy Lee defend it because Tommy Lee is attached to Gaza. The one song here will sound good in the beginning stage from Tommy Lee was the Crown Clown song. And sonically, you could hear the difference between the Massacre songs them as far as clarity and as far as lyrics. And if we're talking about lyricism in a clash, Massacre is leading by a landslide. Anybody who know music know that. If we talk about song structure, we talk about lyrics, we talk about argument. Tommy Lee just all over the place a chat a bag of things. The man come out, first him talk about Tommy Lee call a man a beating stick. The man answer back and say, yo Tommy Lee, you can't call no man no beating stick because we all hear you online. I get beaten. See, the voice note leak with you a ball out. Your daddy a beat you till your eye them swole. See him? My address the man being on drugs and the man dealing with underage, which is a very sensitive topic, and it seems like everybody will go around that too. See him? And next thing as far as I know in a dancehall, we no support, we no tolerate them something there. See? And nobody now say, yo Tommy, answer back that. Defend back the man and say, yo, you are deal with underage. See? And also the boss too, which goes back to the PR team. Lisa Hype come out and made allegations on Walton. Lisa Hype as a Gaza artist come out, and we all know certain things that were publicized attached to her brand. See? And she come out and make certain allegations, and the vloggers jump up and DJs as well. So the girl mad. See? And of course defame our character in every way possible publicly. That is the media machine that we have today that we didn't have in times prior, where you just get Star, X News, Gleaner, cassette, VHS, people attack on the corner, and that was it. Now you have engines of influence and people attached to engines of influence that get programmed to come out and turn the people a certain way in which they then perceive the music completely different, if not write it off completely. Same thing with Gaza Kim. Certain allegations were made very public as to what she endured as a Gaza artist. She come out and make song. She come out in interviews and spoke on her experiences as a part of the Gaza team. And what happened? She get defamed publicly. This is the Gaza fan base and the Gaza vloggers, Gaza DJs, and so forth. And you see the pattern we have now? So, in this war with Massacre and Tommy Lee, this is a very, very, very biased, very, very subjective war, depending on whether you say Gaza, whether you say Crooks, whether you say Gully, or even if you say Alliance, because see, Legend Bounty Killer have to come out and defend what him like. Seeing? After the man come out publicly and say, yo, him now support the demon thing. And of course him did have him little lyrical confrontation with Tommy Lee. Seeing? Tommy Lee would be like his grandson in terms of his musical family tree that he spawned. Seeing? Same as Crooks and Massacre. And the thing with Gaza people, them, this is why me even hear certain vloggers that come out, the ones that have proper sense, seeing and observe things objectively while using critical thinking. Seeing? Them say Gaza people, them very biased and very corrupt in their judgments. You see? Because what goes for the goose does not go for the gander. See? Same way. No, Tommy Lee diss up the man and say, yo, man a beating stick and re. Massacre come back and answer the man. What happened? Narrative bill. Seeing the man say system. Right? And I point to why them have them system, and the man articulate exactly why he not deal with that sector there, that crew there, and the boss. See? And them turn it around and build a narrative, say the man a ball. The man a ball out, and a bad mind in bad mind, and re. Diverting from what the man said in his song, which is the man nine are now linking with them. Cause him sister them a friend killer, them a traitor, them a sellout, and them a bad man, them a try to stop him success, them don't want to see him proceed in a life, you don't want to see him progress in a life. So yeah, a war is on, you see it. But once again, the narratives are on. The one Mr. Vegas come out with his ulterior motive, and I talk about Ray and a bat for cartel neatly. Why? Because he has an issue with Bounty Killer from morning. Seeing? So he might try to inject his influence, and I use social media to try to stir the people a certain way. And he's not the only artist. I say do it too. I say other artists do it, but him are the most. Him are the biggest, are the most, I would say, publicized that has done it. But other artists have come out and made their little comments and tried to inject Ray neatly. Not out of the love of music, and not because they're objectively looking at it from a musical standpoint, but because of politics and business. See? Yeah, this idiot next old boy, all grey back boy, where I don't even want to go into film history, because the whole internet said the youth a clown. The man go upon a next platform, which is a next platform that is a house of clowns. See? The man go and say, oh, if the only people that say massacre are people who are not intelligent and aren't able to comprehend and I try to use big words and I twist it up. Are you fucking crazy, my boy? You hear that? But when you look deep into it, it's a Gaza man. See? So then we try to use all type of multi-syllabic words and vocabulary to try and make themselves sound intelligent. Same like the music expert, the international music expert, the old boy will wear the funny glass. And I try trick people, I try tell people in a 2025, so Sean Storm put together a brilliant song. He constructed a brilliant song and not a flipping gimmick. This is what we're dealing with in 2025 in our Clash world, and this is why I pose the question, has social media ruined Clash? Because it's not like when people sit down on the corner and listen music and listen how people build bridges and hooks and put together bars, similes, metaphors, entendres, double entendres, triple entendres. See? People of a musical cloth know exactly what I talk about. The gone are the days where people go dance and take in the dance for music. Who are going to give the best performance? Who are going to take the show based upon their stage presence and their delivery? It's just people who love man and groupie out. And sad to say, enough of them a man wouldn't feel so bad about the woman them, because women have certain characteristics about them that kind of will lead them for kind of groupie out and thing, and kind of show loyalty and bias blindly to a man. But usually man wearing a jelly back where we stand firm, them have a look into certain things and say, boy, this not right. See, I don't have no favorite artist at this time in my mid-40s. One time I used to say Sizzler. As a teenager, I said Sizzler. Mr. Bounty Killer. Seeing in high school, Mr. Bounty Killer. Steadfast. I'm a rate Bounty Killer to this day. I'm a rate Sizzler. But as much as I rate them as artists where I have high regard for, at certain points I look into things where them do either personally that come out in the public or musically that I don't agree with. I'm say, yo, that don't make it. No, DJ. That don't make it none at all. See? And people not have no kind of standard nowadays to say, yo, this not right, yo. Or this is just the way it is. Me gonna call a spade a spade. That song no sound good. That rhythm no build good. See? The artist I move away where it make sense, or the artist I move away where we're just not right none at all. And I'm gonna call that out, and I'm gonna stand 10 toes on that shit. We don't have those type of people anymore, because everybody itch on something and I look something, whether it might maybe views, likes, popularity, money, links, all kind of things, sweets, These are the things that are dominating the dancehall space right now, and people as we move on, we want to see the clash elevate to a higher level. What do you think? Let me know.